Ready for fall? I sure am. Let's check out some wines just for fall. Welcome to this week's episode. We're going to look at wines that are just perfect for fall weather, and I can't wait for fall. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And we're going to look at two wines, and both are from Oregon, and they're from a very small family, a Portuguese family, and I think you're going to really like them. And I got both of them at Total Wine. Well, let's look at the first one. So the first wine is a Pinot Gris, and you may remember from some of our other episodes where the Pinot Gris is the French spelling of Pinot Grigio, the Italian spelling. So same grape, obviously grown in different places, and I think it makes such a nice fall wine because it really helps be that transition from summertime. We had, how much we love our rosés that were like tart and refreshing and had melon flavors, and same with a lot of the Sauvignon Blancs and the white wines we were drinking all summer had lots of citrus. Well, now it's time to sort of move into the stone fruit, so the late harvest peaches and the white nectarines and green apples. So that's what Pinot Gris from Oregon always sort of reminds me of. Those sort of the green apple and sort of the nice warm stone fruits with a little bit of tropical fruit. And I think you'll notice this in the Coelho Pinot Gris from the Willamette Valley in Oregon. So not too expensive. This wine was around $20, and it was at Total Wine & More, a winery direct wine, so they're getting it right from the small producer in Oregon. And the Pinot Gris from Oregon are so nice. They're a gem. I encourage you to go and see if you can find a Pinot Gris from Oregon, especially if right now you already like Pinot Grigios from Italy. So lighter in body, not too heavy, not too acidic, just enough, and very food-friendly wines. Great with fish and grilled chicken and some salads. So again, we're sort of transitioning from the summer menus and the summer wines, and we're getting excited for fall. And really the Pinot Gris from Oregon, of course, can be drunk all year long. But I just think for some reason they epitomize the fall season. And they remind me quite a bit of the wines from France. And so in our upcoming episodes where I look at fall wines, we're going to do a Pinot Gris, and it's going to be from Alsace, France. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a look at our second wine, and it's going to be a red wine. Our second wine is a Pinot Noir, and there's just really nothing like the Pinot Noirs from Oregon, and especially the Willamette Valley. I'm drawn to those wines, namely for one big reason, and that is they are known for having silky tannins. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that mean, Trent? Well, it means like silk. So very soft and supple. And if either you or maybe someone you know has always been a little reluctant to try red wines because they're too dry, too tannic. You've probably heard those terms before, right? So too dry, too tannic, like a Cabernet Sauvignon, and they aren't sure about red wines. You know what? A Pinot Noir from Oregon is a really nice option. It's because you get that bursting red fruit of usually cherry and cranberry. When I just think of cranberries, I just always think of the Oregon Pinot Noirs. And a little bit of cedar. You'll smell some of the woodiness of the cedar that comes through sometimes. And it has acidity, which is great with food. And for this wine, I had it last night because I received my Cook's Country magazine, and I'll put links to that magazine in there if you're not a subscriber to that. I like them quite a bit. So they had a recipe for how to do a slow roasted whole salmon. Oh, it was delicious. And I just had a good feeling that this Oregon Pinot Noir was going to be great with my salmon. And guess what? It sure was. So if you enjoy salmon and you've been thinking of a wine other than a white wine and you want to try it, the Pinot Noir is a great one. So I guess I would think of these wines, again, the Oregon style of wines, both in the Pinot Gris and in the Pinot Noir, are very similar to the way the French address both those, right? So very much like the red wines from Burgundy are very much like the Oregon Pinot Noirs, and the Pinot Gris from Oregon are very much like the Alsatian style, so in the eastern France. And we'll cover those in another episode. So if you find you like these, and I recommend starting with the ones from Oregon, and if you know, wow, I really like that Pinot Gris, or I do enjoy that Pinot Noir, great. So now is a great opportunity to sort of branch out and go to your local wine retailer or do some research. You can send me a question and say, what would be a good Burgundy for me to try, or a wine from a Pinot Gris from France. And then you get the whole other world of the old world style and our new world style from Oregon. Really nice wines, great to have all fall. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode. If the idea of Pinot Noirs is appealing to you and you've tried the one that I've talked about in the show, or maybe you've tried another Pinot Noir, in the October issue of Wine Spectator magazine, Pinot Noirs are all over the front. And it's kind of nice if you want to know a little bit more about Pinot Noirs. It's a nice magazine to sort of find out what are the newest trends in Pinot Noirs. I think if you haven't tried Pinot Noirs and you do give it a try because you're maybe just not sure about red wines, I think you're going to be pretty happy. And if they're still not your style yet, that's fine. There are plenty of other wines to drink out there. Well, thank you again for tuning in. Look for the descriptions of that recipe. I'm going to give you the recipe for that pan-roasted salmon from Cook's Country Magazine. That was just delicious last night. And again, thank you for telling your friends and family about our show. I sure appreciate it. And remember to send me any questions or comments that you have, and I can't wait to read them. Well, until next time, cheers everyone.